Okay, so we have our new solution for the auxiliary battery. It might be a little overkill, but overkill's good. And we're back. We are here at Nick's Emporium of Oddities and Miscellaneous Things to finish the work we started the other night. So we're adjusting out and working on some of the mods that we started working on, which includes adjusting the supports in the rack system to reinforce it and make it better. KB Voodoo rack, already a good rack, but we're just making some adjustments so that it can be a little bit more robust for trail use and whatnot. And we're also addressing the secondary battery issue. So as you may recall, my secondary battery issue that we developed and figured out on our own basically didn't quite work for me in Yosemite, and I ended up having to jump my truck with a NOCO juice pack after a couple of days of sitting and using all the lights on the truck and all this outlets and drawing a lot of power, thinking, hey, I had a secondary battery, it's gonna be great, and it wasn't. So anyway, we went back to the drawing board and started doing some tests and figured out where we went wrong in our theory crafting and our design. So what we discovered is the battery we selected originally, the Mesa battery, dry cell battery we selected, was basically too small. We thought we were going to be able to streamline this with a small battery that could fit in the engine compartment and it would work. But it turns out, after running tests, the cold cranking amps of that battery is not enough to turn the truck over when needed. Now we have a new solution, and the new solution is a bigger battery. Okay, so this is the new secondary battery that we're going to install. It's actually going to go in the bed of the truck under the Retrax tonneau cover, and then wire in through the hood to the system that we have already built. Pretty cool battery. I don't think I'm ever going to run out of power. Now's the part where I do some cool slow-mo shots of the battery with some cool music. We drilled through the ports in the bed to feed the cabling through, which includes the ground and the positive to get into the engine bay, connecting to the battery isolator and whatnot. Just to give you an idea of how that works out, this was the size of the previous battery system we had, which was 4-gauge wire, and now we are using 0-gauge wire, which is a much larger capacity. Here we have it. It's the Mesa M-Power MP2150 battery. This is the nuclear option. We now have auxiliary power for the Raptor and probably a small village. So this is mounted in the bed of the truck. The power cable goes through the bed port and goes through the frame to the engine bay to connect to the system. So as another note, we did weather seal the top of the battery in the positive connection and the breaker before it exits the bed of the truck.
We've added a additional power wire back here with a 4-port marine power unit that allows us to have independent power control for this box, which is the main switch here, a nice little voltage display, 2 USB 2.1 ports, and your standard car power port as well for running any additional accessories that may need to be run out of the bed of the truck, all of which have these nice little rubber caps that help kind of water seal them. Again, we've gone ahead and water sealed this box as well. And the reason for the disconnect here is we've actually made an extension cord that allows you to run this up to about 12 feet away, so that if you decide you want to use it up in the tent or on a table, that is also an option. And it's magnetic.
Okay, so we're going to do a little peek under the hood and trace back the workflow of how the auxiliary battery system works and how we've managed to install it and integrate it into the existing Raptor system safely. The one disclaimer I have here is that I wouldn't recommend doing this on your own if you're a novice or don't know anything about cars or mechanics or whatnot and electrical systems. Nick happens to be a professional mechanic who has years of experience wiring cars, so he's been a great help in figuring out how to make the system work. So we'll have Nick explain exactly the workflow and dynamic of how this auxiliary battery system came to life.
This is the factory Ford battery, which is nothing to scoff at. This is a 800 cold cranking amp battery. Cold cranking amp refers to how much power the battery can put out at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So yes, you will probably not be in that situation very often, but that's just how they rate batteries. This is also an absorbed glass mat battery, which means rather than just a bunch of acid floating around, it's gelled up, essentially, which makes them safer because you can tip them over and do things like that. It's also very advantageous for us because we can put another absorbed glass battery in the truck, which is what we've done, and the charging system will be completely compatible. So, in case this battery ever goes dead like it did in Yosemite, we have added a 0 gauge power wire over here from a auxiliary battery in the trunk. And you notice that's actually bigger than my pinky, and I don't exactly have small hands. The point of this is that we didn't have any space under the hood to mount a second battery, so we went ahead and moved it all the way to the bed of the truck. But we want to be able to make sure that that battery is safe and is able to be disconnected from the system in case of a massive draw. So in case you run the battery too low, we've added a, I believe the brand is Galley Power, who knew, low voltage disconnect. This is basically a little brain that anytime it senses the voltage on this particular battery right here through the red wire drop below 11.1 volts, it sends a signal over here to disconnect this battery isolator and turn off the rear battery. This allows you to have whatever power is left in the rear battery to start the truck, even if this battery continues to drain itself down to nothing. So along with that, we've also ran that through its own independent fuse system, because anything that I'm running power from a battery, you always want to run a fuse in line. Just common practice and safety on all of this. This white wire here actually runs to the override switch for this unit, because once this battery is too dead, the truck doesn't know that it has another battery anymore. So to turn that other battery back on, we have to have an emergency override switch that turns this giant relay back on, and that's what this white wire does. And it's running through a 30 amp fuse, which is probably overkill, but sometimes overkill isn't a bad thing. To seal all of this up, we've gone ahead and put the low voltage disconnect in a small waterproof Dolphin brand box, because it happened to be the right size and the right price, and sealed up the edge where the wires tuck out, and that's going to just go ahead and live under the engine room here. The rest of this wiring is mostly for the additional lighting equipment and the rear power plug-in that we've also added to the vehicle so that he can monitor his power system and plug in stuff in the bed of the truck.
All right, moment of truth. We are now disconnecting the main battery, and we're going to start the truck entirely on the auxiliary battery system.
So, main battery negative. Come on, baby. Notice the voltage meter stayed at 12.6.
Yes, this did not change
At all.
Ready. I can count on that. Should be good.
Yep.
Voila! Truck started entirely and utterly on just the auxiliary battery mounted in the back of the truck. Mission accomplished. I feel very good about that. Okay, now that we know it works, we're gonna go a little further here. The battery's still disconnected. I have no power. I'm gonna try and turn it on. Watch. Nothing's happening. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold down the emergency switch that activates the secondary battery to use to start. I'm gonna turn everything on, lights included, then I'm gonna try and turn over the truck. It worked. Once again, everything just from the auxiliary battery, main battery, totally disconnected. We did it. So we got the auxiliary battery system working and we're done for the evening. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And until the next truck venture, thanks for watching.